Private jet Wi-Fi sounds like a small detail. It is not. For some travelers, it is the difference between a productive flight and an expensive quiet room in the sky. And if your plan is, the jet has Wi-Fi so I can work, you may be building your business day on a phrase nobody actually defined. That is not executive planning. That is wishful thinking with better leather. If you want private jet charter explained for serious buyers, not people buying fantasy, subscribe to Jetmaster. This channel is for charter buyers who care about control, privacy, time, and not approving a private jet option based on vague comfort language. Here's the mistake I want you to avoid. Do not treat Wi-Fi available as a productivity guarantee. I'm going to show you what executives, assistants, and family offices should confirm before they count on working in the air. The specific aircraft, the route coverage, the actual work requirement, device limits, costs, video, call, expectations, aircraft substitution, and the offline backup plan nobody wants to discuss until the signal disappears. Let's start with the blunt truth. Private jet Wi-Fi is not one thing. On one aircraft, it may support basic messaging and email. On another, it may support heavier business use in favorable conditions. On another, it may be installed but billed separately. On another, it may be available in some regions but weak on the route you actually need. And on another, it may not be usable for the work you expect. So when someone says, the aircraft has Wi-Fi, your answer should not be, great. Your answer should be, what does that mean for this aircraft, this route, this work, and this quote? That is the serious buyer question. Point 1. Confirm Wi-Fi on the specific aircraft, not the aircraft category. This is where lazy quote reading gets people into trouble. A provider may say a certain aircraft category often has Wi-Fi. Fine, but you are not flying a category. You are flying a specific aircraft. The exact aircraft matters. The installed system matters. The active service plan matters. The region matters. The route matters. The provider terms matter. The number of devices matters. The work type matters. A cabin photo tells you almost nothing about actual connectivity. The jet can look perfect in the photo and still fail the work requirement. Ask, does this specific aircraft have Wi-Fi installed? Is the service active? Is the answer based on the actual tail or just the aircraft category? Are there known limitations with this aircraft or system? Is the quoted price assuming Wi-Fi included, limited, pass-through, or separate billing? That is how you turn an amenity into a real assumption. Point 2. Define the work before asking about the internet. A lot of buyers ask the wrong question. They ask, does the jet have Wi-Fi? Too broad. Instead, state the actual work requirement. For example, during this 2-hour flight, the principal needs email, messaging, document review, and 1 audio call. Video would be useful, but not critical. Please confirm whether the proposed aircraft and route are expected to support that level of connectivity, whether usage is included, and what limitations we should plan around. That is a useful request. Another example, the traveler needs to stay reachable for family and office messaging. No video, no streaming, no large files. Please confirm aircraft-specific Wi-Fi availability and any charges. That kind of language protects the buyer, because email and messaging are not the same as video calls. Document review is not the same as downloading huge files. Voice calls are not the same as video meetings. VPN use can behave differently from normal browsing. Streaming creates a different expectation from basic business communication. If you do not define the work, the provider may answer a smaller question than the one your calendar actually needs. Point 3. Route and region can change the answer. Private jet internet is not independent from the mission. A domestic 2-hour flight in a well-covered region may create one expectation. A remote route may create another. An oceanic segment may create another. A mountainous corridor, international itinerary, high-latitude route, or multi-leg day may create different limitations. Do not assume office-style internet because the cabin feels like an office. The aircraft is moving. The system depends on equipment, provider, coverage, network conditions, altitude, routing, and sometimes passenger behavior. Ask, is this route Inside expected coverage. Are any portions more likely to have weak or interrupted service? Does international routing affect coverage, availability, or billing? Does this aircraft's equipment support the intended work? Should important files be downloaded before departure even if Wi-Fi is expected? That last question is not pessimism. It is discipline. Executives who need the flight to be productive should not gamble the whole work block on a signal bar. Point 4. Clarify Wi-Fi cost before the flight. Private jet Wi-Fi cost can be simple. It can also be surprisingly unclear. Some quotes include connectivity. Some include basic usage but treat heavy usage differently. Some pass through charges. Some bill usage after the trip. Some require activation fees. Some estimate the cost. Some list Wi-Fi as an amenity but hide the billing treatment in separate terms. So ask directly, is Wi-Fi included in the quoted amount? Are there data limits or fair use rules? Are video calls, streaming, or large transfers treated differently? Could there be usage-based charges after the trip? Are Wi-Fi costs affected if the aircraft is substituted? A lower quote is not always cleaner if the productivity requirement is hidden outside the visible total. A quote with a clear Wi-Fi line item may look less elegant, but it may be more honest, and honest is more useful than pretty. Point 5. Aircraft substitution can quietly break the productivity plan. This is a big one. A charter option may be approved partly because the proposed aircraft has the right cabin, luggage capacity, range, schedule fit, and connectivity. Then the aircraft changes. The replacement may still be similar in category. It may still fit the passengers. It may still complete the route, but it may not preserve the Wi-Fi assumption. That matters if the flight was supposed to be a working flight. Ask before approval. If the aircraft is substituted, will Wi-Fi be reconfirmed before acceptance? Must the replacement aircraft have comparable connectivity for this mission? Will we be told immediately if the replacement changes the Wi-Fi expectation? Can we reject a substitute if connectivity was part of the reason we approved the trip? Do not accept similar aircraft without asking similar in what way. Similar seating is not the same as similar mission value. Cabin equivalence asks whether the aircraft can seat the passengers and complete the route. Mission equivalence asks whether it preserves the working, privacy, baggage, timing, and connectivity assumptions that cause the buyer to say yes. For an executive work flight, Wi-Fi belongs in mission equivalence. Point 6. Privacy is not automatic just because the cabin is private. A private aircraft can offer major privacy advantages: fewer people, more control over who is present, a quieter environment, less exposure than a lounge or commercial cabin. That can make sensitive work easier, but do not turn that into fantasy. A private cabin does not magically secure every network, device, app, call, document, or message. If the traveler handles legal, financial, defense, health, public company, family office, M&A, or sensitive personal work, rely on the traveler's own technology, legal, security, and compliance advisors. Do not let the phrase private jet become a cybersecurity policy. Ask, will sensitive work happen during the flight? Does the traveler's own team allow that work over in-flight internet? Should certain calls wait until landing? Should critical documents be downloaded and handled offline? Should video be avoided if the connection is uncertain? The strongest private aviation plan does not pretend the cabin is magic. It aligns the aircraft, route, connectivity, passenger behavior, and risk tolerance. Quick pause here. This is exactly why the free 10-day Jetmaster private jet charter course exists. Most buyers compare private aviation too late in the process. They look at price, aircraft photos, and cabin features. Then the details that actually affect the trip show up after approval: Wi-Fi, luggage, airport choice, crew timing, aircraft substitution, route limitations. The course is linked in the description and pinned comment. Use it before you request options, especially when the flight is supposed to protect a business day, not just move a passenger. No pressure. Just better questions before the quote becomes a commitment. Point 7. Prepare an offline backup even when Wi-Fi is expected. That may sound strange in a video about private jet Wi-Fi. It is not. It is one of the smartest decisions a traveler can make. Download documents before departure, sync presentations, save contact details, prepare key approvals, send anything time-sensitive and time-sensitive before boarding if possible, decide which calls are truly mission critical, decide what can wait until landing. If the flight is short, remote, sensitive, family-focused, or uncertain from a connectivity standpoint, the controlled choice may be to treat the cabin as offline working time. Review documents, think, rest, make notes, hold the live call before departure or after landing. That is not failure. That is executive discipline. The bad plan is pretending a fragile online schedule is guaranteed because someone typed Wi-Fi into an amenity list. Now here's the buyer checklist before approving a private jet quote when Wi-Fi matters. 1. Does the specific aircraft being quoted have Wi-Fi installed? 2. Is the service active and expected to work on this route? 3. What work does the traveler actually need? Email, messaging, files, voice, video, VPN, streaming, large transfers. 4. Which work is mission critical and which is optional? 5. Is Wi-Fi included, limited, estimated, pass-through, usage-based, or charged separately? 6. Are there device limits, data caps, fair use rules, activation fees, or post-trip charges? 7. If the aircraft changes, will connectivity be reconfirmed before acceptance? 8. Does a substitute aircraft need comparable Wi-Fi for this mission? 9. What happens if Wi-Fi is weak, interrupted, or unavailable in flight? 10. What files, documents, and approvals should be prepared offline before departure? That is the serious buyer framework. Not, does it have internet? That is too soft. Ask what the internet is supposed to do for this aircraft, on this route, for this traveler, with this work requirement, under this quote. Private jet Wi-Fi can be extremely useful. It can protect a work block. It can keep the principal reachable. It can support messaging, calls, files, and coordination, but only when the expectation is stated clearly before the aircraft is approved. Do not count on working in the air because the cabin looks like an office. Protect the working flight, not just the cabin image. And don't forget, your Jetmaster journey starts now.